Hey folks, welcome back to the Death Star. You know what? I don't know how I keep doing it, but I keep getting some really good Salmon sit-downs. This time, I get to chop it up with legendary football coach Urban Meyer, who is here in Las Vegas doing what he loves to do. Check it out. I'm sitting here, call this a Salmon sit-down with Urban Meyer here, a three-time national champion, a triple option. You're doing the podcast here with Sinclair, obviously on Fox as well for college football. I appreciate you talking to me, first of all. First thing I got to ask you about, you said that you love Las Vegas. You love Las Vegas. Your son is on the UNLV staff with Coach Dan Mullen. Like, how did that come about?
My son-in-law. And Dan Mullen was with me all the way back in 1997 or 8 as a GA for me at Notre Dame. And then he went with me to Bowling Green, to Utah, and then to Florida. And then he went on his own to be a head coach. And Coach Mullen's as good a football coach I've ever been around. And you know, I love Vegas, and I think people, you know, the Vegas people understand this, but it used to be kind of get drunk and go gamble. It's not that anymore. It's now it's the best restaurants in the country. You have the Knights?
Yeah.
You have the Raiders, and you got a baseball team coming here. You have as good at golf courses in the country. Great people. I'm all in on Vegas, man. I love it here.
See, I was going to get into that later, but I mean, we'll go straight to Las Vegas because obviously you coached at Utah. You're in the Mountain West Conference. You used to come down here. What do you think it was about Las Vegas and UNLV, the fact that for a long time the football team struggled? Like, to me, it baffles my mind that it'd be hard to recruit here, but what are your thoughts on why it was so hard?
Well, I know what it is. And I just told you. I mean, when I was coaching at Utah, and I was actually at Colorado State before Utah.
Okay.
And Vegas is one of those places you were scared of them because if them and San Diego State were the two that you're like, they got it all.
Yes.
But you can never, if I recruited against Vegas, I would never lose that player. Because would you, I'd play up the strip and all that. Do you really want your kid there? But Vegas is a whole different animal now, and I don't know exactly when it changed, but I know from Dan Mullen and from his staff, I'm going to go watch practice today. They have excellent players. The previous coach Odom did a hell of a job. They have it all, and they have support now. You can recruit a player here because look what I told you Vegas' reputation was. It's not that now.
Yeah.
Now it's a wonderful place to live with everything you need. So look for Vegas to continue to rise.
Continue to rise. I was going to ask you about Coach Barry Odom because obviously you're tapped in with all the coaches. You're watching football all day, every day, or whatever. How about the job that he did here? You know what I mean? Like to turn UNLV from a program that's like one of the worst in Division I to being good enough to have the eye of your good buddy Dan Mullen.
Yeah, he did. I don't know Coach Odom, but I know what I know, and that's what I watched him play. And this was a really well-coached team. I was Fox Big Noon when they went up and played Boise in the championship game, and I remember getting ready for that game going, wait a minute now. Everybody's talking about Boise.
Yeah.
And I said, with Genty and all that, I said, this UNLV team is really good players, but a lot of teams got good players. They were really well coached. They didn't make mistakes, and they played really hard, which is a sign of a really good staff.
I got you. So anything in particular that you coach, you tell Coach Mullen on his job coming here to UNLV about Las Vegas, Mountain West, this whole thing?
I was actually with him. We were here for, I think, Alex Smith. He got inducted to the Hall of Fame. And that was right when Coach Odom left.
Okay.
And I pushed hard. I just, first of all, I think he's too young to just, I'm at the age where no moss. He's too young. And he's got too much to give. He's as fine a football, certainly an offensive coach I've ever been around. And I've always admired Vegas. This is a sleeping giant that somehow someone's going to come in here and flip this thing. Odom did. Now you got to go with it. And then I started looking at their facilities. I looked at the draw. What I mean by the draw is recruiting. Can you go pull kids? Who doesn't want to come to Vegas? And then in this NIL era and transfer portal era, a guy like Dan Mullen can take a player that maybe is an SEC player that's not getting the playing time he wanted, which is what he's done. Yeah. He can bring him in here. He can take a quarterback from Virginia, I believe.
Yeah.
They brought him in, who's still looking for a guy like Mullen to make, in his offense, this kid can explode. So I like the future of Dan Mullen in Vegas.
I got you. Have you had an opportunity to go into Allegiant Stadium yet?
I was there for the Pac-12 championship a couple years ago, and it blew me away. Man. I've been in the UNLV facility a couple times. That facility is a nice. Big 10 facility or a Big 12 facility. Okay. It's as good as there is.
Yeah, could you imagine like having, I mean, obviously talking about the facilities and how good it is to recruit there, but telling your kids, we're going to be playing our games in one of the, they just hosted the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
And the good thing is at UCLA, the crowd was awesome.
Yes.
And I wasn't there, but I was watching it. I'm a big fan now. So like last week, we got out of, I say we got out of the Miami, Ohio with a win. That was a sleepy environment, small crowd. Good enough team to beat you. Yeah. And I thought the team fought and scrapped. I keep saying we've.
It's okay. You can do that now.
We've got to get more consistent on both sides right now. And the defense is getting better. Defense struggled early on. They got a hell of a D coordinator. Got obviously an NFL guy, and then Corey Dennis, a little biased, is doing a good job as the offense coordinator.
I got you. Are you going to have an opportunity to make some of the games this year, you think?
I work on Saturdays. Yeah. My Fox. I'm hoping that they continue this run, and Big Noon comes to a game.
Gotcha. I gotcha. All right. So, kind of talking about a little bit about your background, that you play baseball, football as well. And you talked about like Vegas being like, it's like a sports mecca. I call it the sports entertainment capital of the world. One, did you ever think that? I mean, with the background and everything else, do you ever think that Vegas could be this kind of a sports mecca with all these professional teams and everything? I mean, people coming here for college basketball, college football, everything else.
I did. I always wondered why they didn't do this sooner. Once again, Vegas, used to be a place to, when I was a young person, people say Vegas, and you kind of roll your eyes and go, why would you, if you're not a gambler and you're a big drinker, why would you go there? But I never hear that anymore. Yeah. Now it's a pro sports town, and I'm telling you, it's become a culinary town. This is as good as there is, and it's also become a golf course town. You got Southern Highland, who's my favorite course, and they got Summit, and you got Shadow Creek. You got some great places here.
I can tell your Las Vegas golf courses for sure. So what is the deal with coaches and being on TV or coming from your staff? Like, it seems like you guys are very well versed. You know what I mean? Like, Mullen was great on TV. You do very well on TV as well. Mike Sanford, who was also on your staff. I know him from Faith Lutheran, and I also covered him at UNLV.
That's right.
Just outgoing guys. What's the connection? Is there something there that you just recruit really outgoing guys?
What's amazing about the TV gig is it's so hard. Every coach that is getting tired of coaching wants to get into TV, and the problem is there's only like 4 spots.
This is true.
And Dan was really good on TV. I'm trying to think. I don't think Coach Sanford did. They want to. There's just not many spots out there. So you have to have, the background, but you also have to, when that red light goes on, that when that light goes on, man, you better be
you got to turn the thing
especially
on?
Live TV.
Definitely live TV. Yeah. Definitely live TV. Are you enjoying like the whole podcast deal with the whole triple threat? Because you guys have a nice dynamic with Ingram.
They came to me, and actually I was in Vegas for the Super Bowl, and they said we want to meet with you. First they wanted to do a radio show, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And they said a podcast, and I couldn't spell podcast. Like what? And then they started explaining it to me, and then I could pick my producer, and Rob Stone and Mark Ingram are our family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mark Ingram and Rob, we do Big Noon together, and I just finished the podcast now. I can't wait to do it. We have a ball. I laugh, but I also think we're taking people. There's very few places or people that can take. You got one of the best football players. He's a leading rusher in Saints history. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, played for Nick Saban. He can take a viewer in there. I had a nice career, and then you got Rob Stone, who's an incredible point guard. So I love it.
Yeah, I actually covered Mark Ingram. I used to work in New Orleans. Yeah. So I used to interview him. He was a monster. Yeah. Seems like
even better guy. That's the best thing about him.
He's a really cool dude. He was very easy to talk to and whatnot. He's not afraid of the weights any longer. He seems like this guy's the gun show every time you guys do a show. Is that what it is?
I think he oils up and does push-ups too.
Kind of one of my last questions is, I wonder about do you still watch a lot of baseball? Are you a big Reds fan, or are you out there?
I grew up a Reds fan, and Indian. I'm still going to say the Cleveland Indians.
Okay, I got you.
Because I can.
I got you.
So I'm a big Reds fan. I have to get back into it because I love the game of baseball.
Okay.
I just got really busy, with my kids all played sports. So my son played baseball, so I'm going to get back into baseball.
Okay.
And I know those A's are coming here soon.
That's what I was going to ask you about that. Like, your thoughts on, I mean, a Major League Baseball team in Las Vegas.
Well, who's not going to come watch them? That's the thing that's amazing.
Exactly.
And the support, I imagine I was in a city planning conversation, but I'm sure the hockey team was a little test run. And they say that's the hardest ticket in the country. I've not been yet. I'm going to go to a game one of these days.
Go to a Golden Knights. They play tonight.
I can't go tonight. But
no, I know. Yeah. I got you. That's really all I had for you, because I wanted to ask you about Las Vegas. Obviously, you spent a lot of time going back and forth. Maybe lastly with UNLV, an opportunity. I mean, the way that college football is set up for national championships, one of those teams that, the 4 teams that can get in there. How realistic of a chance do you think that the Rebels have in being one of those teams? I mean, the fact I'm still undefeated and they're playing in the conferences, I think that they can win.
Sure. I think you're at the point where game 4, right now, your issues. You don't game 1, especially with this transfer portal, new quarterback, new this, and so and new staff.
Yeah.
And so Dan Mullen, I'm going to actually see him today and go watch practice, but now this is a problem, this is a strength. Going into the first game we didn't look good. We were in a street fight to win that game, but we won it.
Yeah.
And then you look at UCLA, start to finish, we won it and won it. Last week was I think we had 2 or 3 times we were 14 points down.
Yeah.
That was a nut check. That was and you had to find a way to win it. So now I imagine what they're doing is, this is the problem, this is a strength, fit the problem, utilize the strengths.
Is it hard to kind of, I'm sure you don't bite your tongue, but is it hard to not want to get in there and be like, okay, maybe you should change this, or do you just kind of, are you over there shaking?
I know Dan well enough if I see something, but I also have enough respect for him that, to know that he knows what he's doing. I have probably 10 guys across the country that either work for me or I'm really close with, and I'll stick a text message to them respectfully.
Gotcha.
And I have that kind of relationship. They do something with it or they don't, but we have enough respect for each other.
I got you. I have to ask this because it just popped in my head. What's it like being like an Andy Reid type of guy where you have like that tree? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, make you proud, almost like I won't say kids, but, to have guys around the country that are really doing well. I have interns on ESPN and stuff like that.
Well, I went to watch one last week, Kyle Whittingham, who was my defense coordinator, is good at football coach. You got Ryan Day at Ohio State, so I have Greg Schiano at Rutgers, I have Mike Vrabel for the Patriots, I got Luke Fickell, Wisconsin, so I got a bunch of guys out there that are still doing it, and some are doing great, some are struggling, and they're like family members. When they struggle, you bleed with them, and we're doing great. You feel so proud of them.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Urban Meyer, it's a pleasure.
Well, let's do it again. I want to be here a bunch. This is our second home. We're going to spend a lot of time out here.